What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 21st day of December, and here we are sitting at about $88.3 thousand. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. We do have 7 hours and 32 minutes left in the day. It is the weekend, it is Sunday, and it's the very end of the week as well. I mean, we can look at the weekly chart here, leaving behind a nice wick on this week. Unless we drop over the next 7.5 hours, I think we're going to leave behind a nice wick here. A lot of indecision over the past few weeks at this area. You know, we had some indecision candles down here. We had a lot of indecision candles up here. Do you see the similarity there in the indecisiveness? It's at the top, it's at the bottom, right? Typically, you get these indecision candles when you are at the lower parts of a move or the upper parts of a move. And I definitely believe that from here we should be seeing some type of upside that would break us out of this zone above 94K. Specifically, I think that we're going to run all the way up to about $100,000, $99,000, maybe as high as 102K from here. And then we will likely find resistance. That comes from this little zone right here. Break out of this area, and we'll likely find resistance somewhere around here. If we break through this, if we can actually get above roughly 102K, likely we would continue to the next resistance slash support zone, which that's roughly at 107K. And if we get through that, it's basically 116K or something around there. And that'd be pretty crazy. I don't think that we're moving up this high right now. I don't think that's what's happening. I think that we will break out of this area to the upside. I just don't know if immediately we're going to run all the way up here. I want to see what we do here. Whenever we find resistance here, do we consolidate? If so, maybe we do break out and continue higher. Do we just straight up reject? Are we finding support at prior resistance? Do we break below? Like, there are a whole lot of avenues that we could go down once we hit this area. So I want to see what we do when we are up here before I make the assumption that we go higher or that we reject or any of that stuff. I just want to see what we do first. So for now, the call is that we will be moving up to this area. I want to look at the short-term stuff and see if we can validate that. Are we looking forward to moving higher relatively immediately, or should we be looking for some kind of downside before the move up happens? Let's see. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame here actually is kind of interesting. You get this sideways, boring price action every Friday to like late Sunday. And then here we got this drop on the 13th hour. We look back here whenever it was very boring and there was low volume. It was Friday, right? You can see that it's Friday here, Friday to Sunday here, right? And it wasn't the 13th hour, but it was the 11th hour that we dropped here. We go back again to this boring time where there's no volume, and it was Friday to Sunday again. It just looks the exact same for the last 3 weeks in a row here. This hour that we dropped, that was on the 14th hour. So 11th hour, 13th hour, 14th hour. I mean, it's all around the same kind of time. Here you moved up afterwards. Here you proceeded to move lower afterwards. And this time, well, let's just see what we do. I think that we dumped, right? People might have PTSD from last week. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to drop and if we went below this low here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If we do go below 86.8K, that's likely the low area that we would have. But also, not gonna lie, in what I was expecting to see today, I was expecting that this drop would persist. I wasn't expecting that we drop like we did here and then come back up. I think that this past few hours where we've come back up like this could give us a chance to actually move higher without going below these lows. I just wouldn't be surprised if before we moved higher, we did push somewhere below this low. I don't know if we go as far as below this low here, but something below about 86.8K. Let's look at the indicators and see if that makes sense. Because again, that was the original thought that I had from over here yesterday, Saturday, and probably even Friday. I can't remember. I think it was just Saturday because we didn't have this price action by the time I made the video on Friday. The idea was that we'd find support below this low, just like we did, here we found support below the low, like kind of, and we did go lower nonetheless. Or over here we found support just below the low, right? Let's see. Whenever we Let's see, find the next one. There's not really any others actually that look quite like these ones. Here you did not find support below low. Here you just dropped right below it, but there's one example of that, I guess. That's kind of what I was going off of. This too. Okay, here we go. Yeah, like this, right? Here's the low. You go just below this low, and then you found support and you moved up. Here you went just below this low, and then you moved up, right? We've seen that kind of happen, or to the opposite effect. You know, as soon as you get a slightly higher high, that's whenever we drop. And that's not every single time, but that was just kind of the idea here. Again, the last 3 hours, to me, may have nullified that. I want to look at the indicators and see. And of course, the indicators aren't going to help us. We're on the 1 hour time frame. We've been moving sideways. The MACD is in a bullish posturing, I'm not going to lie. Higher lows with lower lows in the price, technically, that is bullish. You technically do have bullish divergence on your MACD, but this last 3 hours, that could have been it. You know, that's appropriate for the move of the level of divergence we have. The stochastics make me think that we'd move higher, but again, sideways, choppy, boring. Stochastics might be less reliable. The RSI is neutral, technically bullish, but neutral. I guess if I'm looking at the indicators, the momentum is shifted to the upside. It would be more appropriate to call for the upside. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame and see if we get the same results. 4 hour time frame here. Bearish engulfing candle on the last 4 hour close. Let's see how we do with this 3 hour and 27 minute period here that we have left. Very low levels of volume, you guys. We're definitely set for a breakout. Understand, whatever move that we make out of here, right, whenever we have these low volume moves, it's very fast and abrupt. Okay, and then volatile. And then, you know, it continued moving higher. Here, very low volume. Once the volume came in, fast and abrupt. A little volatility, but still very fast. So when we do move, we're going to see some fast movements here, that's for sure. Maybe to the upside, maybe to the downside. I am shifting to the upside. The 4 hour RSI gives me a little bit of hope that we will move higher. The stochastics also give me some hope. Man, bouncing right off the 50. This 4 hour time frame still needs to close green though. 3 hours 26 minutes from now, you got to close green. You have to. That way you bounce off of this area on the RSI. That way you bounce off of this area on the stochastics, and also this way you do not pull back below your zero here. I suppose it's not as crucial for the MACD. We don't need to close green here, but it would be nice if while these oscillators have crossed above this zero line here, it'd be nice if we could stay above it, and not just stay above it, but push higher, right? You want to push higher like these moments here, but even more than this, like this, yeah. You get above it, you kind of got below, but really you're just finding support on the zero, and then you moved higher. Something like this, that's what we want to see. So with the MACD, it says, you know, we could come down a little bit. This is where I would say, again, the MACD, even the stochastics, you know, if they were to reset, if we were to make a move down, we could still very likely move up from there. So expect some volatility, but if I'm looking at this and just trying to be practical about it, I think that we will move to the upside, actually. I think that we will see some upside. Maybe we're in the reverse of what we saw last week, where, you know, we dropped, everybody's thinking, oh, it's a BART, we're just going to BART back up, right? And we were saying that, and we're like, we're probably going to break down because of that. I didn't think we'd break down this low. I didn't think we'd come down here. But this drop wasn't like a surprise, right? This was even a little bit more than what I was expecting it to be, but still that drop wasn't that much of a surprise. Because I feel like everybody at this point was expecting we BART up, because that's what we've done. We BART down, we BART up, we BART up, we BART down. That's just how it's been this whole time. I think we're in that same kind of mentality still. Oh, we moved up, we're BARTing, we're going to come down. And because people are programmed into thinking that with the price action that we've had since the 21st of November, makes me think maybe we do just move up from here. Maybe we do the exact same thing here, where we moved down, we should have BARTed up, but we didn't. We just kept moving down. Here we moved up, we should have BARTed down, but we didn't. We just keep moving up. That's the thought that I have there. And it's not just that thought that makes me think that we're going higher. It's definitely the indicators too. But in all fairness, all these indicators on the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame, they're pretty neutral. They have bullish prospects. They are more bullish than bearish collectively, for sure. But, you know, whenever you're moving sideways like this, indicators can be less reliable. So just, if I'm wrong, prepare for that outcome. I know I've never been wrong before, but it happens, guys. It does happen. I have been wrong before. I will be wrong again. If we do go below this low, from a low to a high, golden ratio 382.5, you look so good, man. You look really good here, actually, with the fibs. You know, typically if you come up here, you reject, but what you're doing is you're just bouncing around in this area. I don't know. I like that. I don't not like that behavior. If we were to go lower, 83.6 to 82.2K, that would be the target area to find support. Likely below this low, but above this low. If we break below 82.2K, well, 76K, well, it's technically 76.8K, and lower awaits. But I don't think that that's what we're going to see. Just because I don't think it doesn't mean it can't happen, though, right? I like this. I actually do like this. You know, you found support at the golden ratio, came up. Typically, whenever you hit the 0.5382 area like this and you come back to the golden ratio, you break through it. Let alone on the third attempt, you should break through it. The fact that, honestly, like with these fibs, this is a easy move to the 786, 886. Look at how fierce you were here, and it was over the weekend, or I guess it was on Thursday, to be fair. I don't know, man. I think if you wanted to move lower, you would have done it. So I'm calling for the upside. If we get above 91.4K, we will likely take out these highs. And if we take out these highs, we likely will proceed to our 99 to 102K level, something up here with prior support on a closing basis and a wicking basis, something up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if we had some Fibonacci extensions that lined up with that level as well. Let's just see. High here to the low here. Look at your golden ratio. Oops. Oh, never mind. There we go. Still, golden ratio is right there at 101K. That's the 1618 right there. Right at the base of these daily closing lows. Right in the middle of this kind of low area. Your 1272 is right here at 97K. It's a bit low, but in this screwy environment, might that make sense? As soon as we get a higher high, boom, then we sell off. We trap people. We kind of stop in an area that's not anticipated. You're leaving the people that are expecting at least these prices or higher to be achieved. You're getting the people excited or discouraged who thought we were in a bear market. As soon as we take out that high, you're throwing everybody for a spin. Then you stop at your 1272. It's still a somewhat logical area to stop at. Prior areas of resistance kind of in this same area here. I'm not expecting that we stop at 97K. I think that 101K looks really good. I really do. As far as when will we get there, I don't know. I don't just think that we're going to move up like this. It's not going to be 2 or 3 days from now we're up here. It could very well be the beginning days of January that we're up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we're pushing up toward 97K and above by the end of the month, but will we get above 100K by the end of the month? I'm skeptical still. Nonetheless, that's what I think is going to happen. I've got nothing else really to say. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. You know, this, to me, really does just, it reminds me of this area back here. And this area, we had slightly lower lows as we're going through. Here we're having slightly higher lows as we're going through, but just moving sideways, being choppy in this price action area. We have been moving sideways now for a full month, 21st of November to here. So I would say between now and the next month, between now and this day in January, we should see a breakout that takes us to the upside. I mean, I don't believe we're in a bear market. I think a lot of people do. And I also think a lot of people are unsure. There's a good mix in this crypto space right now. There's people who are full gung-ho that we're in a bear market, that this is some type of bear flag and we're gonna break lower, going below 70K and stuff like that. There's a mix of people who were very bearish at the lows, very bearish maybe throughout this whole week, and now they're not so sure. Now they're like, hold on, we've been consolidating for kind of a month. Hold on, now there might still be some hope. And then there's other people who think that we're in a bear market but expect that we will break out of this and yet just form a lower high and then come down. There's a lot of work to be done. Just because we break out of this area, all I'm trying to say is this in itself does not validate that we're in a bull market. I believe we're in a bull market. I very much believe it. But I'm not going to pretend like this is validating that we're in a bull market, right? The validation, for anybody watching, anybody curious, if you want to validate that we're still in a bull market, I think would be getting above 116K. Some people might say to validate, you need to get a higher high. And that's fair too. We get a higher high, of course we're in a bull market there. But I would say getting above that level there, it's pretty, at that point, the statistical probability that we would go above this high and still come back down to that low, it's not likely. It's more likely that we would take out that high if we take out this high, right? That's kind of like your gatekeeper there. But we'll start getting excited about taking out new all-time highs once we're above this level here. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think from here we're going to take out all these levels. I think from here we'll move up, we'll consolidate, and then we'll continue to move up, right? It's not going to be a quick process, but as we get closer to this zone, that will be the time when we do look for this breakout kind of movement that should take us to dramatically higher prices, but we'll see. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Sometime between now and a month from now, we should be making our move higher. It would be crazy because we are totally mature in this pattern. We could be halfway through. We could be consolidating for another month. It's completely possible. But with the setup that we have here, and there are some slight bullish implications, if we were to get above this high, that's it, guys. Like if we get above this zone right now, that's it. We're no longer in a consolidation phase. And again, that doesn't mean like from here, whenever we broke out of this consolidation phase, we didn't just go right up to that level, did we? We moved up, we consolidated for like a week and a half. We moved up, we consolidated for about a week. We moved up and we consolidated for like 2 months. And then we finally got up there, right? Getting up to this all-time high level, even after the breakout, it could be a month or two until we're at new all-time highs. But breaking out of this zone, we might do this week, and that would be really exciting. If not this week, because it is Christmas week, maybe next week. But at some point here pretty soon, I would expect, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was that first week of January that we did break above 100K. We'll see. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. I hope that all makes sense. Bye-bye.